Welcome to StarWatch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. What happens when one of Japan's most respected filmmakers, a man whose work has touched hearts around the world, quietly mentions a young Chinese actor by name? It isn't just a compliment. It's a statement that the world is beginning to see what Wang Yibo truly represents. Welcome to StarWatch Now. Today, we dive into a conversation that crosses borders, generations, and art forms. A dialogue between two worlds. Hirokazu Corida, the master of emotional realism, and Wang Yibo, the symbol of youthful strength, grace, and persistence in modern Asian cinema. Hirokazu Corida has long been known as a filmmaker who looks beyond the glittering surface of fame to seek the quiet truth of human existence. His films are not driven by spectacle or grandeur, but by the small, unspoken gestures that define a person's soul. The way a father hesitates before speaking to his daughter, or how a smile hides a lifetime of regret. In every story he tells, he searches for sincerity, for the essence of what makes someone real. So, when a director of such sensitivity mentions Wang Yibo, it carries a weight that goes far beyond casual praise. It is not the recognition of a celebrity. It is the acknowledgement of an artist who has begun to earn a place in the deeper conversation of cinema. Corida's vision of art has always been about endurance, about those who can remain authentic when the world around them is noisy with ambition. In Wang Yibo, he seems to see a young performer who understands that same language of silence. Yibo does not rely on controversy or shock to be seen. He allows his discipline, his calm control, and his restraint to speak for him. In an age where so many chase the next viral moment, he stands apart, moving at his own rhythm, shaping his path one deliberate step at a time. This patience is something Corida values deeply, because patience is the seed of maturity. The Japanese director's attention to Yibo is also a quiet reminder that art is universal. Beyond the borders of Japan or China lies a shared language of emotion, something that both men, though from different generations, seem to understand instinctively. When Corida looks at Yibo, he does not see merely an entertainer. He sees a mirror of his own philosophy, the belief that stories are meant to move hearts, not markets. To him, Yibo represents the rare balance between precision and vulnerability, the kind of artist who can transform a simple glance into a narrative, a silence into meaning. It is this depth that gives Corida's observation its power. He recognizes in Wang Yibo not what he is now, but what he might yet become. A bridge between cultures, a new face of sincerity in an industry too often obsessed with noise. In the eyes of a master who measures greatness in truth, not fame, Wang Yibo's journey is only just beginning. To the casual observer, Wang Yibo may appear as another luminous figure in the crowded constellation of Asian entertainment. His face is familiar on billboards, his name trends effortlessly, and his performances often ignite excitement among millions. Yet, to those who look closer, there is something profoundly different about him. Behind the radiance of stardom lies an artist quietly building his craft, one detail, one breath, one movement at a time. Wang Yibo's journey has never been about the applause. It has always been about the pursuit of truth. Truth in performance, in motion, and in emotion. Dance was his first language, and through it, he learned the discipline of silence, how the body can speak when words fall short. His movements are not flamboyant displays of skill, but precise translations of feeling. He dances as though every rhythm were a story, every gesture a confession. That same discipline shapes his approach to acting. In The Untamed, he embodied Lan Wangji not through grand speeches but through stillness, allowing every flicker of his gaze to carry meaning. In Hidden Blade, he revealed a darker, more fragile side, restrained, deliberate, but charged with tension. Each role, no matter how contrasting, carries the same thread: control, sincerity, and an almost meditative dedication to the truth of the moment. It is this quiet devotion that separates him from those who simply perform. Wang Yibo does not chase transformation for the sake of shock. He seeks understanding. When he prepares for a role, he studies the pauses between lines, the emotional residue that lingers after the dialogue ends. His craft is internal, invisible until it blooms on screen. He understands that acting, like dance, is not a display of ego but an act of empathy. To his audiences, this translates into something rare: authenticity. Even in the glamour of fame, there is a grounded stillness about him, as though he carries within him the calm of someone who knows why he began. And perhaps that is the secret behind his growing resonance, that beneath the spotlight's glare, there stands not an idol desperate to shine, but an artist devoted to illuminating others through his sincerity. Wang Yibo's artistry does not shout. It listens. It invites the world to feel rather than to look, to believe rather than to be impressed. In a world that celebrates noise, speed, and constant reinvention, Wang Yibo's greatest strength lies in his restraint. He is not in a hurry to prove himself. He is in pursuit of refinement. Every gesture, every glance, every movement he performs feels deliberate, as though shaped by invisible patience. It is this quiet discipline that defines his artistry and sets him apart from the fleeting rhythm of celebrity culture. In an era where fame often burns brightly and fades quickly, Yibo has chosen a different path, one built on endurance, introspection, and unwavering dedication to his craft. Those who have worked beside him often speak of his calm precision. He is not the type to demand attention on set, nor does he rely on bravado to command respect. Instead, he leads through consistency, through arriving early, rehearsing longer, and listening more carefully than anyone else. When a scene challenges him, he doesn't rush to fix it. He studies it, reshaping his understanding until truth begins to surface naturally. This kind of discipline, born from humility, is what transforms good performers into timeless artists. There is something deeply poetic in the way Yibo works. His restraint is not a limitation but a choice, the conscious rejection of excess. He understands that emotion, when forced, loses its honesty. So he builds emotion slowly, layer by layer, until it feels real enough to breathe. Watching him act or dance is to witness a dialogue between patience and passion. It is never explosive, yet it leaves a lasting echo, like the resonance of a note that continues long after the music has stopped. Such dedication does not come without cost. The world rarely celebrates restraint. It celebrates spectacle. But Yibo seems unbothered by this imbalance. He understands that depth requires time, and time demands courage. He embraces the solitude of long practice, the quiet exhaustion after hours of repetition, the silence that accompanies true focus. These moments, unseen by the public, are where greatness is forged. In his restraint, there is strength. In his dedication, there is faith. Wang Yibo reminds us that mastery is not measured by noise but by the calm precision of those who endure. His art moves like a tide, steady, patient, unstoppable, proving that sometimes the softest power leaves the deepest mark. Outside of film, Yibo has become a cultural ambassador in his own right. He collaborates with global fashion houses, not just for prestige, but to promote the aesthetics of East Asian youth to the world. He represents movement, literally and metaphorically. Through dance, acting, racing, and music, he tells one story: discipline is freedom. And while others chase headlines, Yibo chases mastery. Despite immense fame, Yibo's humility remains his signature. Crew members speak of his quiet greetings on set. Fans note how he bows before every performance. He listens more than he speaks, a rare trait in today's entertainment world. It's this authenticity that turns admiration into respect, and respect into longevity. Corida himself once said, "True artistry lives in those who still feel ordinary." Perhaps that's why Yibo resonates so deeply. He still walks with ordinary grace, even on extraordinary stages. From Beijing to Paris, from Seoul to Los Angeles, Wang Yibo's name is no longer local, it's continental. International film festivals have begun to recognize his range, and directors from France to Japan are reportedly eyeing him for cross-cultural collaborations. This is not hype. It's the natural progression of a talent that refuses to be confined by language or genre. He's not just the face of a generation, he's its voice. When asked whether Wang Yibo has room for development, Corida simply smiled and said, "Room? He has a whole horizon. Because talent is only the beginning. What truly defines an artist is how they grow, fail, and rise again, quietly, consistently, with purpose." And in that, Wang Yibo stands as one of Asia's most promising bridges between artistry and humanity. So, what do you think? Could the next collaboration between Japan and China's film worlds already be unfolding before our eyes? If you believe in artistry beyond fame and passion beyond borders, stay with us. Because StarWatch Now will keep following the stories that inspire, unite, and move hearts. Speech Balloon, if you enjoyed this story, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs inspiration today, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next chapter in the evolving story of Asia's most extraordinary talents. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and keep your eyes on the stars.